Joe, thank you so much for being here with us today and talking about this wonderful film, Don't Text Your Ex.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Michael. Thank you, the Grand River Film Festival. I'm very, very excited and honored and humbled.
My first question is, you describe yourself as an artivist. Maybe what does that term mean to you, and how does it manifest in your work?
Well, it means that one day I realized that I was queer, Black, and everything there, that the world was like a mess, to say things politely. And I used to be a very, 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 it's a good believer in God. And overnight I just stopped and I was scared. So I needed therapy to want to live again. And I decided that, okay, I need a mission because someone has to take care of this. And my initials are actually JAW. So I was always signing Joe, and Joe means in my Cameroonian language, Bassa, it means fight. And I know that I'm very, very, look at me. I'm like, I'm chill and phlegmatic. So I'm not gonna fight with my with. I'm not gonna throw hands.
Right.
I'm gonna use my words because this is what I do best, and I know that I can annoy people very, very easily without batting an eyelid. I'm like,
Right.
yeah, I'm gonna use fiction, comedy to fight all those systemic oppressions that I noticed before realizing, my epiphany that, oh shit, this is the actual life. People are dying. Not people are not dropping dead. People are getting killed.
Right.
And it's like, okay, because it's institutional violences. So it's okay. No one is going to call out the murderers because the murderers are institutions themselves. They have the power. So yeah, I realized that the same institutions that make stuff feel okay can be used to make stuff feel not okay. I can use comedy to be intersectional. I can use a storytelling, so film, novels, music. I'm on any kind of. This is just film because I'm everywhere. Everywhere that a story is needed, I'm there, and I'm gonna bother people, derange, make people feel awkward, triggered.
Right.
But in the same with the same stuff that is going to make other people feel safe, seen, and healed. I don't know, for some reason the medicine can be a poison for someone and a cure for someone else.
I like that. You hit on a lot of things that I want to touch on, but I'm going to start with humor because I love humor. I love comedy, and I love using humor and satire as a form of commentary, and it's that court jester thing of like the jester can say what is true to the king and won't get his head chopped off. So the film is hilarious in that it has like all these little barbs and similes and commentaries about the absurdity of modern life. How does humor inform your process? Like, do you start from a place of humor, or do you start from a place of, do you start somewhere else and then humor gets added to it?
I think that's the common point of everything I do. It has to be funny because it comes from depression. This is where it comes. Depression and anxiety. The anxiety is my new, a newfound habit since 2020. I won't say hobby, but yeah, habit. But I think I overcame it like since September, thanks to art actually and therapy, of course.
Yeah.
And I use it as I think it's some kind of a disease itself, of a coping mechanism. So, and it's I don't feel that my I had a good day if no one laughed. You know,
Right.
it's I don't know, it's not really healthy, but yeah, that's the that's the reality, and I think many comedians will relate. It's uh, you may be crying, but others you have to make someone laugh, be it a 10-month-old baby.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I feel the same way. You know, I get I get leveled sometimes. Just like, why aren't you taking this seriously? I am taking it seriously. Just because I'm making jokes doesn't mean I'm not taking it seriously.
Right? If you can see the amount of time I can spend looking for a name for the Wi-Fi just so the neighbors laugh, you know?
Exactly.
uh, it's yeah, and it's good and it's fun and I'm actually always learning how to be, because I realize that my comedy is always deep and what is it entruthed entrenched, I don't know, I can't
Or
speak
yes,
English.
yes.
No
Yeah.
one cares. It's linked to something sad. It's always tragic comedy or dramedy, and I was like, how can I be like Michael Schur? He's, to me, he's perfect. He can be political, he can be
Mhm.
super funny, and he doesn't need sadness to make it funny. And I was like, maybe that's my reality. Maybe I'm gonna, I'm gonna keep telling sad stuff. I'm gonna, because I'm really obsessed with grief, with death, with bad stuff. And I had to tell those stories, but I don't want you to, to kill yourself after that.
Right.
I want you to have all the way through the process. Uh, so yeah, it's maybe, yeah, it may be my gift to the world. So I won't try to Michael Schur my art anymore. I'm gonna.
I always say when we're looking at films for the festival, you know, one of my guiding principles is something can be sad and it can be real and it can touch on deep things, but at the end you should leave feeling uplifted in some way. And I have no interest in like walking out feeling worse than I did when
Oh.
I walked in. I always want to feel a
All
little
right.
better.
I remember my very first queer festival. It was a film festival in Germany, and I was still working in marketing in Germany, and I had just came out to myself. So I was at the beginning of this depression thing. I'm like, shoot, I'm in danger here. People are gonna kill me. I'm never gonna get married. Um, and uh, and I went to that film festival with friends that I had met on dating apps, because this is how you meet friends. And now, if you're in the closet, and um, and oh my, it was so triggering. So like everyone was eating chips and popcorn, watching documentaries about Iranian gay couples getting hanged. Like I'm like, we saw them alive. It's a documentary. Like and I was shaking. I was so bad. So I was like, "This is what is this life?" Uh, like, and everyone was like used to it. Like, yeah, we gays. Like, we've been gays for a long time. We know that this shit happens. And I'm like, I'm never gonna do that. I actually did do that in my first book, but I was depressed. This is
Right.
that's my excuse. I was depressed, and yet it was funny. It was not just sad. It was
Right.
funny. I don't know how I made it, because I'm trying to make it again, but apparently it depends on your state of mind when
Mm.
you write stuff. I don't know. When I try to do the same thing, it's like not working anymore.
It's interesting how art can click when you're in one mode and then it
Yeah.
doesn't seem to carry over. And that maybe that kind of brings me to my next question. So in the film, you say that the only cure for heartbreak is art, and then
Mhm.
just now you've said that art kind of was a therapeutic tool for
Mhm.
you.
Mhm.
And I feel like the film is an excellent depiction of a thought process.
Mhm.
And saying, you know, it was therapeutic kind of illuminates that a little bit more. You know, how true is it of you of art as a coping mechanism, as a way to work through things? And also, like, can you walk us through the process of like getting this idea, this thought process out of your head and onto the paper, and then off the paper and onto film?
Um, when I had my first breakup, or heartbreak, or maybe breakup, because I used to have heartbreaks because unretaliated love. So we were not in a relationship, but I was like, "You're shit. I don't love me." So I had my first heartbreak coming after a breakup in 2016. So I was 29. I was very late to the game, to the party. And oh, it was in my mind. I felt like I was going to die. Like, really? All right. I was like, what is happening to me? And it was a 1 month relationship. It was like, it was intense in my head. Like, what the F? Like, and I was crying, crying, crying. And I was the one breaking up. That's the thing. I don't know.
It's a self-delivered wound.
Right? What am I doing? This, and the thing is, it looks easy. You love me, I love you. Why isn't it working out? Like, anyway, and that day, on the same day, I received money from my grandmother, and because she had just heard that I had signed my first book publishing contract, and she was encouraging me by sending me money. And I had a terrible computer back then, like a $200 computer, and it was never working. And I bought my first Fruit brand laptop, and I was so creative. Within the next 2 months, I wrote an entire novel. So it was my second book, an entire novel. I developed 2 web series. I wrote a comedy show, my first comedy show in French, like a 70-minute show. And I was just so creative, like, and I was crying, writing, and at the same time, I was understanding everything Adele had been saying, all those films, all those TV shows, all those novels about love and heartbreaks. I understood them perfectly, and they were all telling me that I was going to be okay. So thanks to that. And so yeah, at first, art as an artist made me, well. Now I'm kind of creating those situations of intense emotions just to to interrupt my procrastination
Right.
phase. So when I don't know what to write, I just make myself fall in love with someone, and yeah, it can be much, because yeah, my therapists are like, maybe try something more healthy. Or you don't need to cry or to pretend to be loving. Anyway, it's whatever works, huh?
That's right. And the end result is good art. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's
And
something.
I don't know with the people who do not create art. I don't know if art helps them. I don't. Music helps, definitely. Music helped me through the pandemic. Dancing helps, so it's also art. I know that I go in my soulmate. Maybe I'm like, I have this new theory. Maybe some people have a human soulmate, and some people have an artistic soulmate. And I'm not. I met Call Me by Your Name, the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big movie person. I'm a short film and TV show person.
Right.
So when I met that movie, I watched it 8 times in a row, like from 9 p.m. to noon the next day.
Yeah.
In a row. And I felt like everything that was missing I was in love with the movie. I don't care about the actors, the screenwriter, or the director. The whole thing is for me. So yeah, and right now, every time I feel like the beginning of sadness, I just hide in that movie, to interrupt time and to get away from real life. So
Yeah.
maybe, yeah, art as a cure or a distraction from your pain.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's so lovely, because that's, you know, what I always hope to, you know, if we show movies and, you know, if even just one person in the audience, it like really touches something deep inside them, then it's all worth it.
That's weird, no?
I mean, but you're
Like,
absolutely right. Like having an art soulmate, and it happens with, you know, some people become obsessed with a painting, some people become
yeah,
obsessed with
it's so
music or a
strange.
song, and it just, yeah, it fills a part of you that was empty.
And I realized with Don't Text Your Ex, but because Don't Text Your Ex is nothing like, it's my first film, but it's nothing like what I had in mind at the beginning, because many things happens on the way. So a long film, a long feature like Call Me By
Mhm.
Your Name with so many people. And I remember Timothée Chalamet's interview where he said that he did the audition one day and he was called again 3 years later. So to me, like he's a whole new person. So,
Yeah.
but I fell in love with the film that was made years later after he got experience, and it's like an accidental, I don't know, it was meant to be, and it, parce que c'était lui, parce que c'était moi, ah and I
Yeah.
hope, you know, as a filmmaker, you don't think your film is going to be someone's soulmate. I don't think people think about that. They try to make something that matches their vision,
Mhm.
and then something comes to life. And I think it's the same with our parents and what we are. Well,
Yeah, it's very much that idea of like, this thing means one thing to me and I will make it for that reason, and then I put it out in the world, and whatever it becomes for other people is divorced from me, and has
Right.
to live with others. Well, okay, so then that leads me to the question of like, how long was the process of making this film? You made it during the pandemic.
Yeah.
How was that like? You
Oh,
know, how long did it take to like?
oh my God. Oh my God. Those philosophical difference between the length and the duration, like time
Yes.
and like how it
Yeah.
felt and how it actually was. Oh my, it was so painful. So painful. I wrote it. Um, I wrote it kind of overnight. When I heard that I was picked for the Lift newcomer film mentorship program, and when I applied for that program, there was no such thing as a global pandemic.
Mhm.
And I wanted to make a film in Cameroon based on one of the short stories in my first book. And this is how I got picked. And they sent me an email on Friday saying, so you're gonna have a Zoom meeting with your mentor on Monday afternoon. So I started writing the film on Sunday night, 9 p.m., and I finished at noon. Exactly like Call Me by Your Name. Like I think that's those are my. This is where I tried. 9 p.m. noon. Um, and but I had this rewriting crisis later on, where I wrote it like 60 times on the same day when it's supposed to be done. um, and uh, I I entered production thanks to Inside Out. They had a relief fund in right in the middle of the Black trauma in June 2020, and I got picked as well. Uh, and and then it was a nightmare, a succession of nightmares. Like the universe was begging me to just not make this film.
Right.
Like everything was a sign, like no. Uh, and I was just fighting because I had at the same time I had the best people coming to my life. Like I was new I arrived in July 2019, so I was really new in the country.
Mm.
Um, and I had left twice to go promote my books in my stand-up show in Europe. So I was not. I had just come back in December 2019. So I was not prepared to. I had no contact, no network in Canada. I had no film experience whatsoever, and strangers just came my way and they wanted to help. Lucky for me, I had been prepared by Canada before moving to Canada that, by the way, in Canada, people are going to offer you free help. Say yes, okay? It's not a trick. So, because no, in France, like, oh, what do you want from me? Like, what do you need in exchange? Why? Oh, why are you here?
Right.
The psychopaths, they can be really, it's bad sign in France. In Cameroon, it's even worse. So yeah, I said yes, and it was beautiful. But and every day, I was a producer, writer, director, casting director. I was everyone on the team, and I was learning thanks to mentors, people in Hollywood or in Canada, just giving me 30 minutes of their time on Zoom and answering my questions. Thanks to Facebook groups, thanks to the association BIPOC TV and Film in Toronto. I was really blessed by good heart, and then the hugest ish would happen every Friday, like prime time of production of Don't Text Your Eyes, like every Friday. And I was working at 21 hours a week because I was also working on the podcast. Yeah, I was copying. My coping mechanism was workaholism.
Right.
It's not. It's just validated by capitalism. And it happened that I postponed the shooting twice. First time, my number two, my right hand, was diagnosed with the C disease, not COVID, the original C disease.
Right.
And had to go back to her country in Germany, and because she wanted to stay with her family. And then my main actress was on stage in Italy, and she was older. She was an actual older person, and then my other main actress was in Quebec, and I was not supposed to be on on the screen. So there was a francophone actress. I would say real actress, but apparently I'm a real actress now because I have an IMDb. Whatever. But yeah, I wanted her to be my actress, my francophone actress. But Quebec went into red zone like in September 2020. So I was like, I don't know. The shooting happened on the day the other actress from Quebec had picked, because she had a busy calendar, and it was it was supposed to be in summer. It was on October 14, so it could rain anytime, and it was outside. So, and it was the loveliest day, loveliest weather, and shortly before the shooting, I lost all my actresses, all of them. So I sent an email to all of my to Lift and to Inside Out, like, you can take your money back. I tried like, and apparently I was the only one. Everyone else had already given up, and I have a competition. I love competition. I was like, wait, am I the only one fighting? Like, I'm doing this, and because they were like, oh, you fought, it's very admirable that you fought so you came so far, and yeah, it's all right. Because it was 3 days prior of the shooting, and my main actress turned out to be, I don't know, maybe senile. I don't know. It was very weird, very like the last straw. And I had just asked her a question, like, also, oh, do you have a wedding dress or something that looks like may look like a wedding dress, or maybe a tuxedo? And she said, why? People are gonna think that I'm a lesbian. That was did you read the script? What is this? The shooting is in 3 days. That's in 3 days. So, And it turns out she could not even read because I had not auditioned her. This is another lesson of the from the universe. It's not because someone is on stage at a very prestigious theater festival that the person can act. So I was like, oh shoot, I don't have a lead actress, so I'm like, it's in 3 days. Who's gonna say yes? Like, it's in 3 days. So I contacted someone last minute and I decided, okay, we're gonna make this like meta. It's gonna be a film in the film, and you're gonna be allowed to read your sides on camera. I don't care. Let's do that. So another filmmaker, the filmmaker, the DOP who was supposed to film got diagnosed with COVID, so I had to find someone else. Someone else told me, "Oh, I'm a professional in this. This is going to take at least 3 shooting days." I'm like, what? I booked one. Like, why am I hearing this just now? She said, "Oh, shit will happen. It can be the weather. It can be the camera. It can." Oh, Michael, shit did happen on the shooting day. But I managed to make all this in. Even the actress left the set, and like everything happened. But it was an amazing day, and it's one of the most beautiful days of my life. And we made a selfie at the end of the shooting with the people who were left on the shooting set. And as soon as we took the selfie, it started raining, pouring like for a whole week. And I was there crying like, I did it! I did it! I was so proud and so tired and so relieved. It was like behind me. Little did I know there's another stage called post-prod, and I was like, okay, this is 2021 problem, and I didn't know that 2021 was another problem. So, anyway, it's done. I'm happy to be attending the last. I hope it's the last stage of my film school, the last year of my film school. That is the School of Life of Making Film. And it's marketing and distribution of your film, and it's really fun, and it teaches me how to accept rejection, because I'm like, I seriously never asked anyone out in my life,
right?
Because there's a possibility of a no. And with this thing, I'm just applying to festivals, and I receive no's every day. At first, it was like, I felt like, why are you doing this to me? And I'm actually learning to receive no's, because some festivals are very, very nice in their rejections. So I'm like, okay, it's not about me. It's many things.
I mean, from the festival side, there are so many films, and honestly, if I could show every film we see, I would, and our festival would have to last a year long. I'm so glad though. That sounds like the absolute worst process, but it all came together, and now you have this wonderful final product. So
really, I've been asked the question since 2020. Are you gonna make other films? And I remember when my grandmother had 6 kids in Cameroon. Her first was in 1958, and so in Cameroon in 1958. And I asked her the question, did it hurt? And she was like, "Baby," it's like baby, like pronounced in French. "Baby, it hurt so bad. I thought I would die." And I was like, "Okay, with your second child, did it hurt?" "Baby, it hurts so bad. I thought I would die." And like, as in the third child, it was the same answer. And I'm like, I may end up with like 6 films, and every time, I don't know, you just forget. I think it's like Hannah Arendt saying, like, pain is something you just forget. That's why because it isolates you, you isolated in your pain. And no one feels it for you. So it's not a common shared experience. So you just start again. Like,
yeah,
you will start loving again. You will start filming again. It's not because it's painful that that's not worth making.
Absolutely. That's terrific. Joe, I love your enthusiasm. I've loved this conversation. I could go on for hours and hours with you.
Me too. I'm a chatterbox, as you can see.
Thanks so much for talking with us. We love the film. Whatever comes next, send it our way. We'd absolutely love to have you back at the festival again in the future.
I'm healing my stitches. I'm still getting a.
That's right. Yes.
I need to know how to walk again.
Well, thank you so much. We can't wait to show the film to our audience, and have a great day and a great whatever your next pain is. I hope that it's just as painful and just as wonderful at the end. Yeah. So thank you so much.
I'm very, very happy for you. Have fun, everyone in the audience.